Question: is Donald Trump okay now as Vice President Kamala Harris soars in the polls? The most recent Morning Consult poll has her up 46 to 45%. The previous poll had Trump up +4 against President Biden. Then when we go into swing states like the Emerson poll in Wisconsin, which has Vice President Kamala Harris up 2 as well. So as she is soaring in the polls and as she's raising what Act Blue is now saying over 200 million site-wide dollars has been raised on Act Blue, an unprecedented show of energy and commitment by grassroots donors since Sunday. And also as Donald Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, is all of his old videos are surfacing, and he's got to deal with all of these rumors as well about him and couches, and AP headlines saying he didn't have relations with couches, as well as these horrific statements that he makes about women that are all surfacing. Donald Trump said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on Fox, and what I'm going to say, and I'm going to go in there and whine and say, Vice President Kamala Harris, she's responsible for the prosecutions against me, and she's weaponized the Department of Justice against me because she's a prosecutor. And with Donald Trump just going out there and whining, it just reminds people who he is, a whiny, weird loser. Here's what Donald Trump said when he went on Fox this morning. Play the clip.
Numbers are high. They're higher than they've ever been. People don't like what they're doing. They weaponize it to go after a political opponent. Now, and she was very much in charge, and she was a prosecutor, but she was a failed prosecutor. She put a lot of people in jail that should have never been there. She put people in jail that were political enemies. She's bad news. She's a radical left, not very smart person.
Mr. President.
And by the way, this follows the post that he's making. He reposted a racist meme by Laura Loomer about Vice President Kamala Harris right here. And then Donald Trump whined on his social media and said, the gag order unconstitutionally placed on me is interfering with my campaign against lying Kamala Harris. Wah, 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 wah. The first in American history, judges putting gag order on me. Just Donald Trump whining over and over again. Now, I want to share this with you. This is from Donald Trump's speech yesterday as well. And you see what the whining is and what he's saying. He's going, well, actually, Vice President Kamala Harris, he goes, she's a criminal and she should not be able to run. Watch what he said. Play this clip.
Kamala's deadly destruction of America's borders is completely and totally disqualifying. She shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. What she's done, she's committing crimes.
And he also said that, that the fact that people are saying she's the prosecutor and I'm the felon, that's not going to work. That's not going to stick. Here, watch this.
Knock, knock. Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered school is really.
People are saying she's the prosecutor and I'm the felon. That's not going to work. That's not going to stick. Here, watch this.
So think of it. They get me to that position, and then their campaign says, I'm the prosecutor, and he is the convicted felon. That's their campaign. I don't think people are going to buy it, and we want.
And look, he doesn't ever talk about any policies or what he's going to do. It's always me, me, me. And it's always very weird, too. As Tim Walz said, the governor of Minnesota, say it with me now, weird. One of the things he was reposting was Asen, who's our senior digital editor, who posted this clip of Donald Trump again talking about that he's friends with Hannibal Lecter and that Hannibal Lecter eats your brains. It's very strange behavior. I'll just show you that clip here. Let me show it to you. But here's what Tim Walz said. Here's the clip.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen how they talk about things. Listen to how your previous guests were right. Like you said, they've told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it. It is built into their DNA because there is no plan. There's no healthcare plan. There's no healthcare plan. There's nothing to do on this. They want to take away our alliances and leave Russia to do whatever they want. Look, they are bad on foreign policy. They are bad on the environment. They certainly have no healthcare plan. And they keep talking about the middle class that, as I said, a robber baron real estate guy and a venture capitalist trying to tell us they understand who we are. They don't know who we are.
Okay, and now compare all of that to, this is a video we created at the Midas Touch Network. We call it "We're Not Going Back" because one of the things Vice President Kamala Harris said in her speech is we're not going back to that, what this Trump chaos. Watch the video that we just made that's going mega viral. Play the clip.
Donald Trump wants to take our country backward, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
The tear gas was used to remove peaceful protesters from Lafayette Park.
The president setting up this photo op for himself, dispersing peaceful protesters. He's holding up a Bible.
This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims at New York City's Potter's Field.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The love in the air, I've never seen anything like it.
A group on one side and you had a group on the other. Very fine people on both sides.
You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy.
I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade.
We are not going back.
So also on that interview that Donald Trump gave with Fox, he also talked about how he doesn't want votes. He says, we don't need any votes. He goes, we have enough votes. He goes, my instruction to voters is we don't need votes. Here's what he said. Play the clip.
We have lawyers at every poll booth. We have, that's what in fact, my instruction, we don't need the votes. I have so many votes. I'm in Florida now, and I drove to another location yesterday, and every house has a Trump Vance sign on it. Every single house. There's not a house that we passed that doesn't. We have the votes. What we have to
drive
do.
by Charlie Crist's house then.
I know.
Just saying.
Charlie. I think Charlie probably has one up too. If you want to know that.
He's a Republican.
But everybody has. It's amazing the spirit. And I'll say this. We had two elections. The first election, we did great. The second election, we did much better than the first election. But this election has more spirit than I've ever seen ever before. And that's because they've seen how bad these people are at government.
And next up Saturday in Minnesota. And next up Saturday in Minnesota.
Remember this, they're destroying our country, Brian.
Right.
They are destroying our country.
Mr. President, thank you so much for your time today. We'll be following that rally.
We told your communications team you would be out by 8 o'clock, and we went 90 seconds over. It sounds like you.
Oh, okay. And I just want you to go and just think about this ticket, Trump, Vance, and just how weird it is. Like, I'm sure you've seen by now the clip that's been circulating, which, by the way, our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, found and resurfaced of J.D. Vance recently saying that a threat to democracy are, childless cat ladies. He said, here's a new video, though. You've seen that video yet, so I'm not going to play that one. You've seen that one over and over again. Let me show you, though, the new video that has surfaced of J.D. Vance moments ago of J.D. Vance saying that Americans who don't have children should have less rights than others. Here, play this clip.
When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of an ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids. Let's face the consequences and the reality. If you don't have as much of an investment in the future of this country, maybe you shouldn't get nearly the same voice. Now, people will say, and I'm sure the Atlantic and the Washington Post and all the usual suspects will criticize me about this in the coming days. Well, doesn't this mean that non-parents don't have as much of a voice as parents? Doesn't this mean that parents get a bigger say in how our democracy functions? Yes, absolutely.
And again, as all of that's going on, there's just more about J.D. Vance's background that's coming out. He's like I think his approval rating is like 34%. He's got a net negative approval rating, one of the worst approval rating of any VP pick in history. There's headlines like this: no, J.D. Vance did not have sex with the couch. He's like changed his identity like 4 times. His name's not even J.D. Vance. Like, did you know that? Like, it's a made up name. His name is James Hamill. Here's his yearbook photo. As The Advocate reported, he grew up, and as a teenager, he believed he was gay. And then he met this preacher, and the preacher said, the preacher told him that like being gay would be a sin. So then he became like anti-LGBTQ. And now he's like, has all of these extremist anti-LGBTQ policies. You go back to his background also. He said that he hated Trump. He called Trump a Hitler. He said Trump's the worst thing ever. Trump is a disaster for the country. Then he grew a beard and changed his entire personality. And then he became pro-Trump because then Trump said, "You kiss my ass." Look, he kisses my ass, everybody. Lincoln Project did a good video of that. Let me just show you that. Play it.
JD is kissing my ass. He wants my support. I think he's running JD on an I love Donald Trump policy. Yeah, he said some bad things about me, but that was before he knew me, and then he fell in love.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is one of the...
Yeah, he said some bad things about me, but that was before he knew me, and then he fell in love.
Are we having a good time? Is it great to have the president back in Ohio?
JP, right? JD Mandel.
And that's who they are. Like, this whole thing is bizarre. They're phonies, they're frauds, the whole thing, they're hypocrites, the whole thing, they're liars. The whole thing is so bizarre. Like, you have Donald Trump posting over and over again, "I have nothing to do with Project 20. This is Donald Trump's post moments ago as well. "I have nothing to do with and know nothing about Project 25. The fact that I do is merely disinformation put out by radical left Democrat thugs. Do not believe them." DJT. Look, we've done how many videos? Probably 50 to 100 videos showing Donald Trump and the founder of Project 2025 saying, "We're doing your policies. Thanks for doing our policies. We love you. We're nothing without you. We're implementing the policy." Like, there's so many videos of that. But let me just give you one data point that's from today. And this was one of the things that Midas Touch broke. Other news outlets ran with it as well. J.D. Vance wrote the foreword to the book by the author of Project 2025. J.D. Vance wrote the book with him, Trump's VP. The part that we broke, though, is that the book was originally called like Burning Down Washington, D.C., with the plans for Project 2025 by the head of Project 2025. And J.D. Vance praised the guy. They had to change the title recently, but the title still remains the same on Amazon. I mean, so utterly pathetic. They just lie about everything. And finally, let me just show you this. So while Fox platforms all of Trump's like deranged behavior that you're seeing, when Vice President Kamala Harris spoke in Houston, they cut off her speech. They're that afraid of her. Here, watch this.
And God knows we don't pay you enough as it is. In this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms.
All right. So if we had any doubt that this was a campaign speech, you see that it is. Our guidance and our advisory on the speech was disseminated by the White House today, not the Harris campaign. Yet that's what this is. And it's...
Folks, momentum, energy. There's a lot going on right now. Hit subscribe. I think we could get to 3 million subscribers soon, huh? Hit subscribe. Let's get there together. Thanks for watching.
Love this.